I'm gonna give you some life-changing tips on how you can change your health and wellness. Well, maybe that's a little dramatic. My name is Ariel Gallimore and I am a certified holistic health coach. On this channel, I'll be giving you the tips, tricks, strategies, all of that to help you live your healthiest, happiest life. So if that's something you're interested in, which I'm sure it is if you clicked onto this video, be sure to subscribe. And if you enjoy this video, be sure to like it as well. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 10 habits, practices, and mindset shifts that have really helped me along my own wellness journey. These things have really just been game changers and have had such a huge impact on my day-to-day health and wellness. And these are in no particular order, but they are related to body, mind, and spirit, because I think all of these aspects are equally important to our overall health. So let's jump right in. Number 1 is cooking. So it sounds pretty simple and straightforward, but cooking has been really a game changer for me. Now, I will say that I was never really much of a cook throughout most of my life. A lot of people in my family are great cooks, they love cooking, but I was usually the one that was put on dish duty. So that gives you a little background on where I'm coming from. So cooking has allowed me to save money, number 1, because eating out definitely gets expensive, but it's also unhealthy. So cooking my own food allowed me to really take control over what I was eating and know exactly what was in all of the foods that I was actually eating. I don't have to wonder what type of quality the food is. So that has just been a really, really impactful habit that I've developed. And I highly recommend that if you're not into cooking yet, or you don't do as much cooking as you could, just do it. And once I started cooking, I slowly began to incorporate more whole foods. I started to cut down on the processed food, which leads me to number 2, really inspecting the labels and cutting down on processed packaged foods. So a lot of times we want what we want Doritos, and that's fine, you can have that. But sometimes we think we're being healthy getting certain foods, and when you look at the label, it's anything but healthy. It's loaded with sugar, it's loaded with preservatives and artificial flavors, like all of that stuff. And you really don't know what you're eating when you're buying packaged foods unless you're looking at the labels really, really closely. So learning how to really understand and what to, the red flags on labels and things that I know are not good for me, and just avoiding those foods and those products has helped so much. It's really been a tremendous game changer, because you think companies would have your best interest at heart, but they really don't. It's all about making money to them. So when you are able to read and interpret the labels, then you can take back control, take the power in your hands, so at least you know what you're eating, and you can then make swaps, switch out certain things for better alternatives. There are some healthy products, healthy packaged products out there on the market. You just have to look for them and read the labels closely. And number 3 is changing how I looked at exercise. So, like many people, I used to think of exercise as just a way to make a physical change, like to lose weight or tone up or something like that. So that was usually my main motivator for exercising. But I've shifted that to realize that exercising isn't just about the physical, it's also about the mental, the emotional, and it's not just about how you look, but about how you feel. Exercising for me has been a way to relieve stress, which I'm going to talk about more in a bit, and also just to help with other health issues. It's really done wonders for digestion, keeping a consistent workout schedule. So if you're exercising in a healthy way, consistently, according to what your body needs, like, it can really do wonders for you in so many ways, so much more than just losing weight or just toning up or just how you look appearance wise. Making that shift in how I was thinking about working out, number one, made me want to work out more, and it just made me see exercising as less of a chore and something that I was doing for me on so many different levels. And number 4, this might be maybe controversial, but I stopped relying on medication. So I am not telling you to just throw away all your medications. I'm not saying anything like that, and I'm not saying that I don't ever take medication, but I only take it when I really, really need it, if it's really the only option. And that is because in the past I was taking some prescription medications, some over-the-counter medications, and I just felt like I was really relying on it. Like, anything that would happen, I would just, run to the medicine cabinet and grab a pill for that. Like, there's a pill for that, whatever that commercial was, or maybe that was apps. Well, anyway, yeah, I was just taking a pill for any and everything. And then I was taking some prescription medications for different things, and I started to realize that it wasn't getting better. I was getting more and more symptoms, and that I was needing more medications for that new symptom, and it was just like a domino effect. And a lot of it had to do with the side effects that were coming from the medications that I was taking. So I just started to realize that these medications were, for me at least, doing more harm than good, and I decided to get off of it and take a more natural approach. And one of the things that I've realized is, our bodies are very resilient, they're very strong, and they're very much able to heal if you give it the chance. We don't really need a pill for every single thing, and a lot of times when we're taking a pill for whatever kind of medication for a particular symptom, it's really just that. It's a symptom of a bigger issue. And when we take a pill that heals that issue or seemingly heals it, we really don't ever find out what is really going on. When things go wrong and we're experiencing symptoms, it's a sign from our body of a deeper issue. It's really our body talking to us. So, instead of just masking that with a medication, I think instead we have to really start to listen to our body and try to figure out what is the actual root cause of that, what's really going on. Because when we don't address that, things are just going to keep going until you have an even bigger issue on your hands. Number 5 is prioritizing stress management. So stress has a major impact on our health. I think we kind of know that. We all kind of know that, but we feel like, well, it's fine for now. It's okay. It's not that bad. Well, actually it is. And this is something that I had to realize because I was under a lot of stress. I put a lot of pressure on myself, was constantly stressed out, and it wasn't until recently that I started to realize the actual health implications of that kind of lifestyle. But I will tell you, stress is a big thing. It's something that you really want to prioritize, and I think so many of us today are under a lot of stress. So it is so important for a majority of us to start to manage our stress. When you are under a lot of stress, your body goes into fight or flight mode. And when it's in this mode, it thinks that you are in some kind of danger. So it shuts down a lot of other important systems in the body and sends all its resources, all its energy to certain areas to allow you to fight off whatever this danger may be. And this danger could be something that you're facing physically, like a bear, something like that, or it could just be a deadline that's coming up that you're really worried about. out at work. It could be anything. Your body doesn't know the difference. So when you're under constant stress, it affects you physically. Over time, it's really going to affect your health. So some of the things that I have been doing to manage stress are meditation. That has been extremely helpful for me, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a bit, but also breathing exercises. You would be really shocked to learn how just breathing, changing the way you breathe, can have a major impact on your overall wellness. And this is something that I definitely want to go into more detail about later on in another video, but breathing exercises really help to balance out the nervous system. Number 6 is going to therapy. So therapy for me and my mental health has been life-changing, I would say. Seriously, because it's just given me the space to really think through a lot of things that are going on, talk through things, get my feelings out, have an unbiased and educated and rational person that I can talk to. It makes a world of difference. So if you're struggling with any kind of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, general stuckness, if that's a word, then I would highly recommend you seeking out a therapist. I think that would be really, really helpful. And number 7 is having a morning routine. I will say that I am not a morning person. I really am not. I've never been one. But having a morning routine has just been, life-altering, because it's given me something to actually look forward to in the morning. I am able to start the day intentionally, and I feel like I've accomplished something by the time I'm done with the routine. Some of the things that I do in my morning routine are practice gratitude, so writing down 2 or 3 things that I'm grateful for in the morning. And then I go outside, which I love going outside. Getting out in nature, I think, is its own habit that I should probably talk about, but I think being outdoors can do amazing things for our mental and emotional health. And I'm not a nature person, but lately I've been finding that it makes such an amazing difference, and I've just been loving spending time outside. But anyway, part of my morning routine, I go outside onto my front porch and I do a meditation, I do some reading, I might do some journaling, and then I go inside and I do yoga or some form of stretching, light exercise, and then I finish off with having breakfast. So that's the general layout of my morning routine, but you can make yours whatever you want. But if you don't have a morning routine yet, it's something that I definitely recommend you implementing into your day. It is just a great feeling to be able to accomplish something at the start of your day. Number 8 is tracking the habits that I want to prioritize. I keep track in my bullet journal of the days that I do certain things, like, for example, the days that I do the things on my morning routine, like meditating, reading, then exercising. I also keep track of my meals, what I'm eating throughout the week, just so I can look back and see what I was eating. I keep track of the amount of water I drink every day. So writing down these things, or having a place where I can keep track of what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, really helps me stay motivated and keep doing these practices that are important to me. And it allows me to look back on my progress and things like that. So having a way to track the habits that you want to complete is a really, really great way to stay motivated and keep track of what you're doing and the progress that you're making. And number 9 is being willing to experiment and keep an open mind. So when you're going on a health and wellness journey, whether that's to heal from a particular illness or just to feel more energized and vibrant, whatever it is for you, it's going to take a little bit of trial and error. It's not most likely going to be just a quick fix or a quick change. Keep that in mind. And I think for me, just being willing to experiment with different things, try different things out. I've tried so many things over the last couple of years, from diets, exercise routines, supplements, different types of doctors or health practitioners. And not to say you have to try all of these things, but just know that it is a journey. Don't get discouraged by that. It's going to take some experimentation. It's going to take some trial and error, and that's okay. It's going to take time. Have patience. And last but not least, number 10 is not being extremely rigid with anything that I'm doing. So that's not to say that, I can eat whatever I want or not work out, or, I'm still keeping up with the habits that are important to me, but I'm not being so rigid and stern about it and putting a ton of pressure on myself to be perfect with everything. I'm leaving room for flexibility, and I think that has been really, really helpful, and just a long lesson, or a lesson that it took me a long time to learn, because a lot of times I was putting more stress on myself just trying to keep up with a specific diet that I was doing or a specific workout plan. So leaving room for flexibility, keeping some balance in my life. I try to eat well most of the time. I try to exercise most of the time. Do these habits and practices that I just talked about most of the time. But if I don't do it every single day, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. If something changes with my schedule, that's completely fine. I'm trying not to let it throw me off of my game, throw me off of my progress. So I just think it's so important to keep a level of balance. Do what's best for you, of course, but don't beat yourself up. We're all just doing the best we can, and we deserve to enjoy our lives. So I think keeping some balance is extremely important. So those are my 10 habits, practices, mindsets that have really made a huge impact on my overall health and wellness. I would love to know, what are some of the habits that have helped you along your health and wellness journey? So comment below. Stay tuned for my next video, and I will see you soon.